Hey there, everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. It's another Friday evening. And yes, I'm here. And yes, I'm a little late. Well, I wasn't totally late if we want to take into consideration the work that I was doing prior to meeting with you this evening. But I was hoping that you would wait there for me. Really, just wait for me. You knew I was coming eventually. Don't worry, I'm getting better. I'm not, this time I'm only 15 minutes late. I'm going to make it to that 7 o'clock number. Don't worry. Trust me. Believe in me. Hi to everyone. I am NJ Evans. It's a pleasure being with you this evening. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. I guess we could say that. So tell me, what do you think about my theme song? Okay, I don't have a large selection at this time. I really need a keyboard also because I'm thinking, come on, Nat, you can do this yourself. You can make a theme song. But then again, I'd have to stop some of the other things that I'm doing. But anyway, what did you think about my theme song? It's a new one and it's called Night Driving. I thought it was appropriate anyway. What was your day like this day, today, Friday? What was your day like? It's cold in Arizona. Where you are, was it nice and warm and easy? Hmm. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do with you this evening was to let you know that we have an official email address now. Yay! And it's the very unusual. The evening dot drive dot home at gmail.com. Once again, the evening dot drive dot home at gmail.com. Now, all day I've been speaking, so my voice is doing all kinds of cracking and things like that. And I don't know what it is. I want to blame it on the elements, but I don't know if that'll work too much. And before I forget, there's a very special lady that I know. I've known her for many, many years. And her birthday is tomorrow, January the 13th. And I just wanted to say, hey, lady, happy birthday to you. She's a very sincere person. And when you have people that are sincere and genuine, you want to at least acknowledge them, and I do wish to acknowledge her. And as I said a minute ago, and I want you to remember that we have an email address now, and it's called theevening.drive.home at gmail.com. Very simple. Name of the show, name of the email address. And I preferred Gmail as opposed to any of their other competitors. So this evening, what are we talking about? I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, I was so busy doing technical stuff. I said to myself, I need to slow my action down a little bit here and think about what am I talking about. Just bear with me for a second. Just tell me what you think about this. Because it is pertaining to you indirectly or directly. Mental health, because that seems to be really a key focus at this time, especially when you have young ladies that are sitting inside their room on the edge of the bed and talking about how they're feeling. And I don't know if I can cope with this. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't cope with it. What are you coping with? And anyway, and then she segues to, and hence here's the telephone number of somebody, and I feel so much better now that I can speak to somebody on the phone. And I was thinking, uh-huh, where are we really headed as far as this is concerned? I mean, as a people, as a nation. And I'm not talking about the extenuating circumstances that are happening at this particular point in history, in our history, meaning America's history. We're not talking about that now. Right now, we're just talking about the young people who seem to be having a challenge with coping. Now, what's causing that? Hmm. That was my question. What's causing it? Is it media? Now, I'm media. So I'm thinking, yeah, I guess so, because McDonald's made it big because what did they do? 52 30-second commercials every day? I mean, if that doesn't brainwash you, nothing will. But that's the question. That's part of the question. But let's go back to the food thing. Mental health, because that's one area. Kidney dialysis or kidney disease. So those were the two areas that I decided to focus on. But there was a doctor that I came across. Her name is Dr. Tracy Marks, and she's on YouTube. And she spoke about a Mediterranean diet. You don't know what that is? Okay, now I'm not going to help you on that. You're going to have to go to her website. And as I said, her name is Tracy, Tracy Marks, Marks. And she has a YouTube channel. I want you to know, ladies and gents, this lady has credentials, real ones. Not only is she a psychiatrist, she is somebody that really, she can be found on YouTube Excellent lady. Great presentation. Organized. I want you to definitely look her up and definitely listen to some of her things. She's actually using food to help you to deal with the progress of changing whatever's going on in your system. She's looking at going towards the cause of the dilemma, and she's mental health, okay? Go towards the cause of the dilemma as opposed to the side effects. But I promise you, I will definitely put her information in the description on this particular recording because I enjoyed what she was saying. So then there was another piece. So kidney on the other side, well, let me tell you what I found. So they had some health disparities. The stats show that people who are non-Hispanic, Black, Hispanic, and Native American had, okay, disproportionate burden of kidney disease. I don't know. Do you think so? Well, let's see what they're saying. For every white person who develops ESKD, end stages kidney disease, 3 Black people develop it. With non Hispanic Black patients, they have to put it like that instead of saying people of color, men of color, women of color. All right. Patients make up 13%. Here we go with that number 13 again. 13% of the US population. And they represent 35% of the people currently on dialysis. 35% out of 13%. Hmm. Among patients initially on the waiting list for a kidney transplant in 2004, the median wait time was approximately 64 months for people of color, 57 months for Hispanics, people of color, and 37 months for white patients. Why? Why can't we all just get along here? So, I don't know about you, but some of the things that I have noticed about the kidney scenario is that it seems to be very popular. I know a family member that has something similar to that, and I know another family member. Now, understand something. I come from a fairly large family, but I have never heard of anyone having kidney problems. Never, ever, ever, ever. Mental health, occasionally. Kidneys, no, 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 no. So I'm wondering, where's this kidney thing coming from? It has to be in the food. I'm tying it back to the food. So if they're trying to say that in disenfranchised communities, the type of foods that you receive in those communities is below standard, and all you have to do is go to the vegetarian, not the vegetarian, but the vegetable area of your grocery store, like a Fry's or a Safeway or wherever you live, and a big store, and just go in there and ask whoever's in charge of the vegetables what grade level are the vegetables that they're purchasing for the community at large, their neighborhood. And you'll see the disparity there. I actually investigated that. I wanted to know for myself. I compared the vegetables that this particular female manager was involved with purchasing. I compared her store to another store that was strictly, totally Hispanic. And their food was so vibrant and so clean and so fresh and a large assortment, not just a couple of chosen, a few. So what she said to me was, that she doesn't like to talk about that particular organization, that particular market, a particular food store, because she knows that their quality is a little bit better than theirs, the one that she's at, even though she's more high end. And I was like, that's interesting. So I'm taking this back to on the mental health side as well as on the kidney side. It's all about food, it's all about the stress, it's all about the type of foods that you're eating. Hence the reason why I felt that Dr. Tracy was very, very important for you to know about because she definitely was talking about the different types of food. And in so talking about the various types of food, she was saying that, like for an example, magnesium. Magnesium, if you don't have enough magnesium in your system, and you can just deplete the magnesium just by simply being under any kind of stress that's job related, home, homework, school, whatever it is. If you're under stress, you're going to deplete your magnesium. Did you know that? I did not know that. So I'm just saying. And I like that. And what she did was she said, okay, pumpkin seeds, that's one of the natural resources that you could use in order to rebuild your magnesium. But she had an array of things for you to really think about. This conversation is only about what do you think about that? That's what I found interesting about this particular lady. So, with the dialysis portion, though, one of the things that I wanted you to know about, and that is there are some people, some young people, like 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and I've met them. They're now walking around with the marks from being on dialysis on their left arm. I can only imagine the mental health that is involved with that scenario because she's 16, 17, 18 years old, 19 years old. This is the prime of her teenage life. And she is now in a situation where, hmm, she's not really as beautiful as she could be in her mind because of. And then she can't really associate with everybody because she becomes tired. And then also because of the things like she on 3 times a week she's going to dialysis. It's a different kind of journey. And then the other piece that really fascinated me is when I was speaking with an Uber driver, I said to her, "Well, what time does your day begin?" I'm thinking driving the Uber, right? And then she said to me, "Well, it really starts about 3 o'clock because I have to take my mother to dialysis. And I'm there for about 3 hours. And then my day actually begins around 7 ish." I was thinking, dialysis. I said to her, wow. So that means that her mother was probably going to dialysis on that 6 o'clock in the morning shift between 4 and 6. And that's exactly what the deal was. I knew she was Hispanic. I said, "But can your mother speak English?" She goes, "No." She goes, "That's why I have to stay with her." I said to her, "Do you ever ask questions like what's going on, how long she's going to be on it, and what kinds of foods does she need to eat?" She said, "No." She said, "They just sit and they kind of wait for the doctor to tell them what was going on with her mother." So I said to her, "Have you ever heard the word nephrologist?" And so she said, "No." I said, "What do you call the doctor that takes care of your mother?" She goes, "Kidney doctor." I said, "Hmm." One of the things that I had noticed about that industry, I think they almost subconsciously evaluate you to see whether or not you understand their language. Being that you're not applying for a job, it really would behoove them to at least share it at one time or another. Exactly what are their real names? For an example, nephrologist. Okay. But sometimes they don't. And sometimes you have to really sit down and talk to those doctors and let them stand still or let them engage you in a conversation sitting down so that you have their undivided attention and let them explain to you exactly what's going on and why. And why. So, was it the food that caused everybody to be on dialysis because it was not of quality? I don't think that's only it. I think it's the stress. I think it's the environment. I think there's so many other reasons why. And some reasons that are very transparent and some that might not be as transparent. Do I feel that hanging from the chandeliers upside down might have been one of the causes? Yeah, that's a possibility. Just, living a very wild life. That's what that metaphor means in my world. Living a very wild life. That might be one of it, one of the things that cause that. But poor health in general is what's going on. So, what was the kind of things that you did as a young person? What are the kind of things that you were involved with? Did you experience the poor health? Did you experience the racial discrimination in the housing and food and healthcare and employment? I mean, what were some of the things or some of the discrepancies that you experienced? What are the byproducts of racial discrimination for you, person of color? Anything? None? If you have an answer for that, I'd love to hear it. My email address is theevening.drive.home at gmail.com. So the same disparity is happening in the mental health area is also happening in the kidney area. But I think that we just have to find a way to really become helpful. I think that's the word I'm going to use, helpful, so that we can help the young people understand who they are and what they need to do in order to rise up over what it is that they're presently dealing with and not hold their head down because they're on dialysis. There has to be something that we can do to help them, don't you think? Yeah, don't you think? Because if they don't have our help, then what? Then what? So, what was your day like today? I'm not going to stay on this topic very long with you. Just wanted to have a feeling about it because you still had to manage your day no matter which way you went with it. And that's the whole point that I was really saying as far as the young lady was concerned, sitting on the edge of the bed saying how stressed out she was. And I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm just simply saying that she was acting as if she's the only one that's stressed out. But the thing that I also noticed about her was that it was almost as if, oh my gosh, can you believe this? And I'm thinking, yeah, I can believe it. I can really believe it. But can you see that there's a way for you to stand up from underneath all of that? And there really is. So let's go back to what I was saying a minute ago. Everybody is looking for an answer, and we have to find an answer. We can't depend on somebody else to find an answer for us. We have to find our own answers. If you're depressed, what do you do about it? That's a form of mental health. What do you do about it? What about if you can't concentrate today? What do you do about that? What about if you have no energy, no desire? It does not necessarily have to be a depression. It just means that your body might be tired. You're exhausted from all the work that you've been doing. Today, you had a very hard day at the office. Who are you sharing that information with? Do you have somebody that you can sit down and talk to? Do you sit down and talk to yourself, or do you sit down and write out what happened to you today? But now, if you find that you're really, really deep, deep into this depression thing, then I'm like everybody else. Hey, please go get somebody to talk to. If you're having suicidal thoughts, yes, go get somebody to talk to. If you really have some type of brain injury or something along those lines that are causing you to go in that direction, yes, go get somebody to talk to. All right. But sometimes you also need to be able to talk to yourself and see how can you resolve the issue? How can you make yourself better? As far as the kidney people are concerned, have patience with them because they are definitely not feeling the same way that you're feeling. They're in a lot of trouble and they need your help and my help and everybody else's help. They really do. And if we could just come together and show them that we care about them, even if it's no more than we do the homework, we go out there, we find out, well, you have this particular type of foods. You shouldn't do this much water, or you shouldn't have this particular type of alcohol, or this particular type of soft drink, or something along those lines. Become acquainted with what it is that I'm telling you. Keep the people that have kidney challenges who are not diabetics. I'm telling you about people who have kidney challenges who do not have HIV. All right. Now, imagine that if you have any of those other added scenarios going on in your system, how many different types of medication are you taking per day? Wow, we. And you have to be stable, and you have emotions, and you have family, and you want to be and do because you're young and strong or old and you don't feel like going through something like this. I met a nurse. This is a true story. Met a nurse, and she was a kidney dialysis nurse for years, maybe about 10 years when I met her. And it turns out that she was actually now a patient. She had so much stress, and this is my opinion, so much stress, so many other things that was happening in her life that her kidneys just gave out. To what degree? I don't know. Could have been something that she could have probably helped to heal or helped to bring back to its, at least to a level where she could really nurture it and bring it all the way home. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know her story. But what I do know is that when she sat there on that bench and she looked out the doors into the sunlight, she said, I am tired of doing this. I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And I was thinking, whoa. She didn't look nor sound depressed to me at all. But she was serious about that because she had a life and she was a young woman. When I say a young woman, I mean she was in her 50s, maybe late 50s, maybe. And if she was in the late 50s, she looked good for her late 50s. But she was a young woman and she had a life and she wanted to be vibrant. And here it is, in a matter of speaking, she might feel that she was on a death sentence because she had dialysis 3 times a week. And what was she going to do with all of that? And why did she have to have that? Kind of strange. Really kind of strange. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Are you in any kind of situation similar to that? Are you believing that you have the ability that you can start turning the energy field within your body and making yourself feel a lot better when you have young people who are in a world of total confusion, 16 years old, 17 years old, and younger? And I'm singling out the kidney group, okay? The kidney group, because the kidneys represents your ancestors. And maybe one of these days I'll do something on that, but I don't know. But right now, I just wanted to share with you something, but I feel more comfortable with you to speak my truth the way I like to speak my truth. But it was a good exercise. It was a good exercise because I had an opportunity to look at the two different sides. And as I said before, I have family members, at least three, that have been or dealing with kidneys challenges. And it just surprised me because I never heard of it before. I don't know if I was oblivious to everything that was happening around me, and I don't believe that portion, but I never heard of it being so predominant, so frequent. And that's why the stats on this thing where they were saying how many there are three blacks to each one white, or there's three persons of color to each one white person. I believe that. And you have 13% of the population of people of color, 13%. And 35% of that, 13%, is on dialysis. Why? Is there something special in your kidneys? Is there something special in your blood? What is the real reason for all of this? Couldn't there be a way of eliminating that so that these people can still have a healthy life if they're considered to be in a low income environment, which means that they have spirit and determination and they set goals and they go to church and they do all of those kinds of things and they're happy in a way. They made themselves happy where they are. Why can't they have the proper foods so that they can eat properly? But anyway, that's just me thinking a different kind of way. Well, I know you got to be pretty close to home by now, and I don't hear you answering me anywhere along the lines. I would love it if you send me an email and send it to the evening.drive.home at gmail.com. I would love to hear from you, to hear some of your thoughts. I thank you so very, very much for my last show. Some of you came out full force, full force, and I just was totally floored. And I'm so honored that you would do such a thing. And I promise that I am going to get better and not worse. And I love this kind of work. I love talking to you guys. And if you have something that you want me to speak about or research and share with you on my next episode, which would be next Friday. Okay, so we do it like this between 7 and 7:30. But you see, the better I become, the more comfortable I will feel as I do my live thing. Okay, which when I do my live thing, then I get to see you and you get to see me. That's the kind of live thing I'm talking about. Alrighty. So remember to create the reality that you truly do desire and not one that you don't. So watch the things that you think about and you focus on, especially at this time where everything is being manifested, since everybody else wants to manifest chaos and you manifest tranquility and success and love and light and joy and happiness and all those positive things for you. And if something goes awry, you just sidestep it and say, hey, that's your journey. It's not mine. And you keep on trucking down the road. You keep on going forward because there's something that you came here to do and create that only you can create and only you know how to do. And there's no one that duplicate what you know how to do. Trust me, I'm not going to edit this out. All the errors are going to be in this show. Okay. So I'm saying to you, I believe in you. I believe in you. Trust that. I really do. Because you have something to do so that the rest of us can do what we have to do. And on that note, I guess I'll say it's been an honor and a pleasure being with you. Get home safely. Make sure that your family is greeted with love and light and joy and laughter. And sometimes a big gift is nothing more than your smile and your presence. Once again, my name is NJ Evans. It's been an honor and a pleasure being with you. And I think that we're going to have to go now. You know, I would really like to just hang out with you a little bit longer, but I don't think that that's going to be possible. So